to switch to the intro here. GM FOMOverse Radio. This is your show host, Austin Hambleton. Today we have Mike Neff on the show. What's going on, Mike?
GM Austin. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm all right. Still waking up a little bit, but I'm getting there. How's Moki?
Oh yeah, my new puppy. Yeah, so I've been playing Puppy Daddy, and this morning she got me up at 6:30. So we just been going back and forth, outside, inside, outside, inside, food, water. Yeah, so it's fun. You know, she's a little French bulldog. My girlfriend actually picked her up in Florida. She flew all the way out to Palm Springs and flew all the way back to Colorado Springs with the little baby dog.
Okay, so the dog wasn't. I thought that was your dog since you had a picture of it.
It's
That
it's
was just.
it's my girlfriend's dog and my dog. Yep. It's
Or I
all.
mean, sorry, the dad. You sent me a picture of the daddy dog.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and the dad, he is a show dog. So, you know, he goes to like the competitions and stuff like that. He's a pretty chunky boy.
Oh, that's why he had that pose down.
Uh-huh. Yep. When he stuck his little chest out.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, so Mike, thanks again for coming on the show, man. Maybe why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, and we'll just kind of take it from the top.
Sure. My name is Mike Neff. I've been doing 3D art for almost 2 years now, and been composing music kind of on and off for the last almost 20 years now. And I use both of those mediums together. And I was working as a freelance videographer, graphic designer before NFTs, and kind of put that all aside once I got in, went all in on the artwork. I started on Tezos before I got into Ash. And yeah, I live in Wisconsin also. So like people, Mike from Wisconsin.
Okay. I had a buddy from Racine. Am
Oh,
I
okay.
saying that
Yep.
right?
Yep, Racine.
So
Yep, I know
sorry,
where that
sorry,
is.
Jake.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry is right.
So he was like a Badger. My buddy Jake, I grew up with a guy. He's from Racine, Wisconsin, and moved to Wichita, Kansas with this family. That's where I'm originally from, and then I
Okay.
moved out here to Colorado a little bit later. But anyway, so he was a big Wisconsin Badgers fan. I think that's like their college team or something.
Yeah,
And
UW Madison Badgers.
okay, and so, you know, back in the day, we'd always say that, you know, Badger, they're kind of like a beaver, so we'd always say that he was like beaver swiping us. I don't know. We always used to talk shit to each other when we were younger, and it was always good times, you know.
Yep,
Not
yep.
not like nowadays where, you know, everybody takes offense to everything.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their feelings hurt.
I think in Wisconsin you can still go pretty hard on sports teams out here.
Are you a NFL fan?
I'm not actually. It's disappointing for some people to hear, but yeah,
No,
I follow no sports. I
no
just never
sports.
have.
That's okay. You know, I'm a proud Denver Broncos fan. They did really horrible. I think people that don't even follow sports know that the Broncos suck right now. But yeah, they
Well, that's a
just
true fan. That's a true fan right there.
yeah, I mean, you know, so they spent all this money on Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks. And he, you know, he's a good quarterback. I don't know if he's won a Super Bowl. Maybe he's been to the Super Bowl. So it was pretty solid. Well, you know, they put all their eggs in one basket.
Hmm.
And it was just like, I think they might have won like 5 games or something this year.
Maybe just didn't mesh
It
with the
just,
team that
yeah.
well.
And then they like had to fire the head coach, you know, and it just like a lot of stuff just, it was just awful. So,
Oh
anyways,
yeah, that's brutal.
yeah, that's sports talk. This is a digital art YouTube channel. So you got started with Tezos, moved to Ash. What kind of got you started? Why did you choose Tezos versus, let's say, the Ethereum blockchain?
Well, first of all, I am still active on Tez. So I do both, but Tezos, first of all, at the time, I didn't have a lot of liquid to really take those risks to either choose a platform or try to go it alone on OpenSea because minting with the gas prices was pretty expensive back then. And also
Like how
the
much,
bear.
so people know?
Oh man, well because I never did it, like
Just
I don't
estimate
want
it.
to
It's okay.
talk out of
It's
turn,
okay.
but people were you'd always see these posts on Twitter with people screenshotting what it would take to mint something on, say, Foundation any given day, and it was in the hundreds, like 300, $400 just to get a piece up there. And then,
Three,
you
four
know,
hundred.
and then you're hoping that someone buys it because maybe they won't. Um, Also, the barrier to entry in terms of navigating how to use wallets, because I had never done anything in crypto before I got into NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
So the cost barrier to entry was non-existent on Tez. The the figure navigating the tech you needed to know was also a lot easier. And Tezos in particular, I still say this, is Tez and ETH are the places to sell crypto art, NFT art. It's kind of an indie blockchain. There are other indie blockchains where people sell art, but it's nothing like Tezos. I think even compared to ETH, the talent of the artwork you see on Tezos is second to none. Um, Even ETH. I mean, you have the blue chip people are mostly all on ETH, of course, but it's also saturated with your PFPs and stuff like that. So Tezos is very indie, avant garde, and it just people who have never been there and shopped around, all of them have their minds blown the first time they go on there
Yeah.
and just see what's available.
I think the first Tezos NFT that I bought was Rudolph Boogerman. I don't know if you're
Okay,
familiar with
the
him.
name sounds
Okay,
familiar.
so Pac, gave him some praise, and so that's kind of how I, looked at his stuff. And this was fairly early on. This guy, and I can pull it up here. This guy was doing um, AI, artificial intelligent, um, before everybody else was. So it
Sure.
was very interesting for me, because I mean, honestly, that's like probably the first time I'd really seen and understood, like, hey, this image was made from artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? Like, and
Oh
also,
yeah.
at that point, when you first hear that, you're just like, what does that even mean? You know,
Yeah. Yep.
like is that aliens? Like what the fuck? So, you start to do some diving, some digging. Um, again, I've been kind of following this guy and looking at his work. And you can tell there's some sort of like human touch to it. Like
Yeah.
even in this image that I have pulled up here, like you can tell just from the image, for me at least, there's people, maybe they're dancing, maybe they're like at some sort of crazy library, or it's, like an opera play or something like that. So it's just, you can tell there's still some human touch with that artificial intelligence. And then, learning about the processes and stuff like that with Dolly, when Dolly first came out, or not first came out, but when they released like the beta version, and just being a part of like putting in the prompt and stuff like that. I don't know. Do you mess around with that stuff much?
I did mess around with um, why am I blanking on the name? What's the latest one to
It's
come out?
Mid Journey.
Yeah, Mid. I messed around with Mid Journey in their Discord,
Okay.
and I may buy into it just to play with it. But when I first got on there, I think a lot of people did this. I didn't realize there was a limit to how many times you could
I
create
love it.
prompts for free. So I maxed it in like 15 minutes.
Oh, I love
I
it.
haven't played with it since.
They really don't give you much though. I mean,
No, well, not for the
not the
free.
free, right?
Yeah,
Right, for the free, they really. I mean, I guess that's their way of, making money. You know,
yeah.
I
Oh,
uh,
respect.
I looked up one of the founders of Dolly is Elon Musk.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Not
was like on
surprising.
some like investment page or, like who founded Dolly? Because I was just curious, and there's Elon Musk. I'm like, oh, does
Yeah, not
everything.
surprising. Do you,
Right.
do you know Make It Rad?
Yeah.
He was doing AI stuff on Tezos pretty early also. He started with traditional 3D stuff. So I don't know when that image is from you showed me, but I think Make It Rad was one of the earliest also who was doing and that's back before the prompt artist TM thing became a thing. So you had to do a lot more to get AI working for you in those days.
So, Make It Rad was actually worked with him. We did the F Collective drop, Mike. So the F Collective drop was a team of 14 artists, and
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
got together and had the collection drop last year, end of last year. And yeah, Make It Rad was one of them, and we had the Digital Koi from Ash Nation,
Yeah,
from
I'm
Art
familiar with the
Nation.
drop. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
how I missed that. Make It Rad was
Yeah,
in
Make
that.
It Rad is in there. You can get the limited edition, and then we also had the open edition. I don't know if anybody's listed on there. Like there was some old listings, but I'm pretty sure they got taken down. Because I tried to go on just to see like if I could like swoop anything, but um, it's pretty good actually. I was pretty impressed with this. So you
Yeah.
have the Act One, Act Two, Act Three. So click on Act Two. Yeah. So here's actually Make It Rad right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I had a lot of friends in that drop.
Yeah.
I missed Make It Rad somehow.
Hmm. Yeah. He's he's pretty dope. Um, really strong with his views and what he thinks. How things should go a certain way, and I dig it.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, there's smart contract. My wizard. Yeah, he had to pause what we were doing for the F Collective drop for a weekend or so.
Oh
Because I
yeah.
think I was his next drop right
Yes.
after you guys.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that, man, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, that is so cool that it's just you and Smart Contard. I was like, that is so awesome. You,
Yeah,
by the way,
he's a
man,
wizard.
you got some firework, brother.
Oh, thank you,
Man,
appreciate it.
like let's pull this up right here. This is maybe just touch a little briefly. This is a tweet from January 6th. Multivariate status update. Maybe just
Yep.
you don't have to
Well,
go that deep as you want to go.
I had it's funny because on January 5th, I did almost the exact same post because I was laying out the stats, but I had to change it immediately because Pac came in and bought 20. I'm guessing based on seeing that post somehow
Yep.
because he's a contract guy and I'm sure he saw the way the contract was laid out. So he bought 20 and then by the end of the night, I think we had sold an additional 70. So the stats were completely useless like 12 hours later.
Jeez.
Um,
Congrats, brother.
thank you. But yeah, in terms of the project, you want just an explanation of how it works, how it came to
Yeah.
be?
Yeah. How it came to be first. And then, maybe talk a little bit about like the upgrades and, stuff like that.
Sure. Well, it's connected effectively to my Metavaria collections, which is those are my Ash collections. The first thing I did after Tezos, first thing I did on ETH, really, which is Ash, and then uh, I had wanted to do some contract stuff for a while, but I was really getting my bearings with, first of all, in 3D, because I haven't been doing it that long. I'm coming up on 2 years in March this year. Um, and then I was getting my bearings in operating with ERC 1155s and different types of contracts. And then we were finally ready to try something, and I handpicked Smart Contract. I had heard him talking on Spaces. I had seen the work he was doing, and I had this idea that I developed many conversations with Q Lollop. I don't know if you know him. He's my IRL bestie. Um,
Cuata?
QLOLP. He's the guy you see.
Yes.
Yeah, the
He's
guy with the
the
cry,
little
the
the
the rage
face.
cry. Yeah, the
Yes.
rage
Okay.
cry
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my IRL friend,
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
yeah, so he and some other people I know actually got me into Ash and onto Pocket in the first place because they got in with cubes and all that stuff. Um, so
Okay.
yeah, I had a few different ideas for what to do with contracts, but I liked the idea of doing a dynamic drop where your piece would change to something else. It would change to a modification of itself without too much puzzle solving or riddles and stuff like that. I really like what Dell did with balance. I myself was playing along at the beginning, and then eventually I just got knocked out of it because I missed like 48 hours, and suddenly I had no idea what was going on. So I wanted to
With
fill
fine
that.
balance.
Yeah,
What
I
what
wanted.
happened there?
Well, I no, just like the game you had to play in Discord. I was following along at the beginning and trying to figure out what was going on, and then I got busy and I couldn't touch it for like 48 hours. And when I came back in, it was like, oh, I'm already lost, and I
Oh.
couldn't catch back up. So I knew there was a demand for something something dynamic like that where you didn't have to solve any riddles or any puzzles or anything like this. And that's more how I like to do it. I always figure the easy it is to understand what you're doing. Like those are the projects I prefer. You can just come in and buy into something that is going to lead to something else. So that was the main idea behind the contract. And I talked to Smart Contract about what we could do, and we started collabing well right away. We got along really well. He's a great dev to work with. If anyone is looking for a dev, go to Smart Contract. Um,
The devs.
yeah, yeah, no, he's great. And I also had in my head the idea of doing terrariums that would change what was inside them. If at first the idea was for something on a much smaller scale, like maybe just one that would change to something else depending on the season or something like that. And then it kind of snowballed into, oh, well, let's have 10 different iterations that you pick randomly, like a mystery box. So the way it works now is that you buy the first metavaria of the multivariate collection, and that's Idolatry. And you also, when you mint that, a shift card is minted with it. And that is when you fuse those two things on the website, you shift, we call it. It burns both of those and it gives you one of these 10 iterations randomly. And they vary in rarity from 50 at the top to two editions at the bottom. And it was a very educational experience to take on a project like that. I don't think most 3D artists, because they know better, would would set themselves up to make 11 full pieces with this much complexity that are fully animated moving pieces. So it was a real. Now this is from the V2 collection, what you're showing right
Oh,
here,
okay.
and those you can't make them in the same collection, but Metavaria is my ongoing, never plan to stop kind of growing collection of these tech terrariums
Is
called
it just
Metavaria.
okay? Is it? Oh, it's in the multivaria.
Yeah,
That I need to click
multivariate.
on. Okay.
Yep. So that's the dynamic drop put together by myself and Smart Contract.
Damn, dude. These are pretty sweet.
And I do have some. I did bring some fresh alpha for you since you invited me on here.
Okay.
Um, so the higher edition iterations from Multivaria. I won't give specifics yet, but the higher edition pieces are in the future going to be burnable for new metavaria that come out. So we want to balance those high edition numbers and cut them down a little bit. And that's going to come when the final piece of the puzzle with this drop comes, which no one knows about either. And that's all I'm going to say about that, but that's fresh alpha for you.
Spitting that fire, bruh. Thank you. I'm sure the audience appreciates that too. That's badass, bro. I'm looking at all of it right now. So the higher edition. So I'm just gonna click on this. So this has 22. Is there a way maybe I can just
If you when you
editions.
click on these, well, when you click on the, that's just editions minted so far.
Okay.
So if you want to see the total editions, when you're on one of the pieces, if you scroll down to the description, it's one of the traits.
Okay.
How many total editions?
50. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So that's 50.
that's the biggest edition one.
Oh, okay. I wasn't trying to look for it at all, you know. Awesome. Well, definitely check out the Multivaria from Mike Neff, guys.
Yep. I think there are 16, I believe, still left on the primary, so they are almost gone.
Woo! So got some diamond handers there, son. Some diamond handers. Have you ever heard of Johnny Yang?
Not sure.
Johnny Dang. He makes like real high-end jewelry. I'm about to pull him up here. This guy says diamond hands, and so I always got a kick out of it. I think he messed with like Shiba coin or something like that.
Is that where the expression came from?
I think it might have. Look.
Johnny Dang.
Here we go. Look at this dude.
I thought I got 3 cut. Didn't you have a 2-tone for me? So you got a 2-tone.
The first one had 2-tone.
Oh, he's getting that drip going on. I think these dudes are, they're probably spending, $250,000, 3-4 stacks, whatever.
Oh yeah. Someone's future.
Yeah, but it's this Chinese guy right here.
Johnny Dang.
There's the baby. Johnny Dang, diamond hand.
Like I get up like something out of Uncut Gems right there.
Which one? I thought he said like diamond hands on one of them. There we go.
Yeah, master at work.
Keep me on the grill, man. Can't get on the way.
Got the grill.
Can't cut, man. I finally got can't cut. He know he gonna be next. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
Diamond boy, I miss my grill, boy. I've been at Heineken. Yes, sir, I got a grill too. But y'all bling harder, man. Y'all
Oh yeah, he's flexing it too.
Look at
Oh
his bling,
yeah.
man. They flawless.
Hope he doesn't grind his teeth at night.
Oh my God. He was just grinding them there real bad. Man, those teeth are shot. That's why he's got to have that grill. Yeah, man. So, thank you again for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, my pleasure. A few other things. I guess, right now we're kind of in a bear market, I guess you can say. Right recently, maybe like the past 2 weeks, we've kind of had like a little mini bull cycle. Um, some
Yeah, a little
people
bit.
some people think it's like the return of the Bulls. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. But I think you can find a couple plays here and there. Right now, there is some positive stuff going on. Um, maybe just tell the people, a few artists that you're looking at, or if you're looking at other artists.
Well, I mean, I'm really in this mostly for the art. So there are, of course, artists I'm looking at. I don't know how obtainable their work, some of them ever will be to me. For instance, Beeple, in my mind, is the GOAT. He will always be the 3D GOAT. He
And
is
so,
my
and
favorite.
somebody, oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. Somebody
Oh,
put
sure.
a goat emoji in the comments before you even said people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see the comments. Bit often
Yeah,
crazy. That's my boy.
yeah, the goat.
That's the that's my one of one holder from my very first
Woo!
Ash drop. Yeah, great
Woo!
dude.
Beeple, you got Beeple. Who else?
People, I'm not sure how to say some of these names.
It's okay.
Anibale,
Annabelle
Anibale.
Scoffali or whatever.
Yeah, the guy. I think it's a guy. The guy who does
He is
the really sprawling sci-fi
He's
scapes.
from Italy
Um,
or something like that.
yeah, yeah. Um, Rafik is another one of the goats, I
Rafik
think.
Anadol.
Um, Hans Hummel, who I think was in the Ash 2 drop. Um, he's one of the first artists I stumbled on like early days of exploring NFTs. He was big on
Han.
Hans Hummel.
It's not the guy that does the C3, the crypto cubes. It's not him, is it?
No, he does a lot of like botanical kind of very highly detailed cinematic scenes with like flowers blooming, all kinds of stuff. I found him on Maker's Place way back in the day before I settled into where I hang out in NFTs. I was looking at Maker's Place a lot when
Oh
I
yeah.
first started looking. Um, Lawrence Fuller is another. He's not like a visual artist per se, but everything he's involved in is very cool. I think he's one of the best people in NFTs right now. I think he's got something going on, some collab on Nifty Gateway right now. Actually,
Is it live?
I believe so. I was looking earlier. He's on there with a bunch of other artists.
And that's where I started, right here, Nifty Gateway.
Oh, same. I think everybody's probably started there.
This was like the
It,
best place to start, honestly. It's the easiest one. You can buy it with a credit card if you like it. It goes straight to your
yeah,
bank account if you want to sell a piece. And
yeah.
they're just phenomenal.
I was on there right before, like about 2 weeks before the open edition bubble burst back in those days. Yeah, he's got a drop going on with Mathus right now. Looks
Oh,
like.
here it is. Wow.
Yeah, he's a poet, and he does a lot of really high caliber collabs where he does a lot of narration of original poetry. He's worked with the Greco a lot, Greco. Um, yeah, he's collabed with a lot of really great people.
Wow. I mean, these are going to go. Yep. Closes in 30 hours, so, people haven't even started bidding on them yet. I mean, they have, but, I think they're going to get some pretty good bids on these.
Yeah, I'd expect it to.
The one of ones is already at 5,500. You still got 30 hours left.
Yeah,
Wow, these
that's
are
yeah.
wild.
We
Open
know how those early
edition.
hours are. We'll see. You see what happens when the timer really starts going.
So closes in 1 day, 5 hours. Open edition, and our boy Mathis is in it. Wow, look at that. I'm not gonna lie, that looks like Mathis's work right there.
Yeah, he's pretty distinct for sure.
I feel like he probably made that whole SOB. Shout out, brother. Okay, so all right. Well, thank you for sharing some of those artists.
Oh,
Beeple,
sure.
Beeple just released some more news recently about his studio opening.
Yeah, yeah. Is he opening that in North Carolina where he lived, or did he go somewhere else
I
for
think
that?
it was Charleston. Is that South Carolina?
I think it's North. I could be wrong, but
I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't hold it against him that he left Wisconsin because at least he didn't go to LA.
South Carolina.
Okay, it is South. Yeah, Beeple. Beeple is like one of the only 3D artists I knew anything about way before I even had any interest in trying 3D. And he really got me into it by watching like learning about how he does his everydays, seeing him kind of work in CD4, which I don't use CD4, but he really spiked my interest in trying 3D, and he effectively got me into NFTs too, because my boy Qlala bought Bull Run before any normie knew what any of this was. He bought it at $900 in December 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and then by the time those things mooned, we were all paying attention locally, and a bunch of us got on board. So he got me into everything I'm doing now, in more ways than one.
That is amazing that he bought that drop. Back then, $1,000 was a lot of dough for an NFT drop. I mean, you're
Yeah,
talking 2020.
and this
So,
is before I think people even understood, or most people understood what the valuation of an NFT actually was, and he was offering physicals along with everything, including like a DNA sample
mhm.
that would come with the physical frame. Um, so those were hilarious days. And then yeah, that I mean, obviously people mooned. So
So check these numbers out. I mean, look at this. It's an open edition. 271 sold. 123 sold. 207 editions minted. Think about if he did an open edition today that was 969, it would sell over 10K. Easy.
oh yeah,
I
easy,
mean, it'd
easy.
probably sell close to like 100K. It could.
Not long after this, he was still doing. He would do stuff. I think he did something on Maker's Place, and he did something where probably all of us participated, where he had like riddles and in puzzles you had to solve to get a slot, and I think thousands of people at once were just had 40 tabs open at Google trying to find out how the hell they answer these things.
Did you break
Uh,
the website and your computer while doing that?
I I'm sure the website was broken. The websites were always broken back then,
Yep.
especially when someone like Beeple would do it.
Yep.
That I was thinking about the old days of Nifty Gateway, where the game was you hit buy over and over and over and just put your shoulder down through the site crashes, the failed
Oh
transactions,
my gosh. I would tell
just
my
to get an
buddy,
open edition.
I'm like, look, I might get one if the website doesn't crash.
Hmm.
Those were the days. Those were the good days.
Yeah, those were the. I got into it about 2 weeks before that open edition bubble burst. And I remember watching some friends, buy some cool art they liked for $300 and flip it for
Yep.
$4,000 later that night.
Yep.
And then, of course, everyone caught on to this at the same time. In the first piece I bought, um, I was playing the hit the buy button over and over game on an open edition, and by the time the dust cleared, I got one, but it was like, oh shit, thousands of people got this open edition. Whereas a week ago, it was, a couple hundred might get in there. So that's when you realize, like, okay, this is not going to last much
Yep.
longer.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally remember that. This was the first piece I successfully got. Like you were
Nice.
saying, Mike, even back in the day when they had open editions, sometimes you couldn't get one.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
like the servers would crash, and then it's like, their buddies got one somehow, but whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And they'd be
anyways,
open for 5 minutes.
yeah, like this one right here, Lost in Tokyo. It was open for 5 minutes, and it was $99 on the primary. And when this opened, I remember I was living with my girlfriend at the time. We were in an apartment. Thank God for her. And I remember calling one of my buddies, and I go, "Man," I said, "this drop is getting ready to happen. I'm shaking. I'm like sweating. This is like old drop nostalgia." And
Yeah.
and so I just remember like doing the click thing, like you're saying. You're just like clicking so fast because you just want it to go through, and if you don't click fast enough, you're fucked. So, anyway, so 5 minutes passes. It's not letting me get it. So then I called my buddy. I was like, "Look, it already happened. I didn't get one." He's like, "Keep trying." I literally kept trying, and then I finally got one.
Ooh, nice. Yeah,
And
yeah, that's how it happens.
and I want to say they came out and apologized, Nifty Gateway, not to me, just to the drop in particular, and they go, "Hey, we had to make it 6 minutes because there was like an error on the website or something like that." So this one was actually a 6 minute drop. I mean, I don't think anybody would know that unless you were involved with this drop. So I
Yeah.
think it's kind of a historic piece right here from Nifty Gateway. Um, and it's super dope too. It's by Blau and Slime Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, Blau is, yeah. He's another great one.
What was the
Um,
open edition that you were trying to buy and everybody got? The first one?
it was a Newerlander. It
John?
was, yeah, John Newerlander. I don't remember the name of the piece, but it was when he was doing those geometric shapes that were just he had
The rocks?
yeah, they had like these really cool translucent particles
I
flowing through
remember
them.
those. Here they
Oh,
are.
right there, up
Crypto
top.
Sculpture.
Scroll up one more.
I remember those, and I was
That
about
the
to
ring,
FOMO.
infinite sculpture too, right
I
there.
was getting ready to FOMO in, and
Yeah,
somehow I sat on my hands. I'm not sure, but look at that, 750 original listing.
yeah, and that the bubble burst on that one very hard. So, but I like the piece, so that's what matters.
Yeah, that is what matters. You're supporting the artist.
That's
You know,
that's giving me nostalgia just looking at that image. That's that early Nifty Gateway glow right there.
look at that. It's almost like our boy Murat Pak with the circle and the nothingness behind it. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's before I did not even know who Pac was when I got that thing.
Gosh, when I first heard about Pak, was probably the Fusion, like a little right before the Fusion extrusion drop with Trevor Jones. This was on Nifty Gateway,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Those are early days.
yeah,
Not for Pac, but for Pac NFTs, I guess.
yeah, and I remember seeing the drop, and I was like, Trevor Jones was like the first guy that I knew, was an artist. That's kind of how I fell down the rabbit hole, was with Trevor Jones. But anyway, so I was seeing these pieces, and I was just blown away that a traditional artist, Trevor Jones, teams up with a madly insane digital artist, Murat Pak, and creates this gorgeous collab that everything just kind of flows together, and you have all the great artists there too. You have the Basquiat, the um, what's his name, Salvador Dali, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and right there you got Picasso and Andy Warhol, and yeah, so you got some greats right there, and just that kind of led me down the Pac rabbit hole after that. I think right after that happened, he had this one, the title. Were you involved with the title?
I was not. I first heard of Pac during the Cubes and when Ash and
Oh,
Burn
okay.
and everything like that was announced. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had a bunch of friends that got into that, and so I didn't get into Ash until December 2021, but I was very aware of everything that was happening and like how cool the community was and everything like that because my friends were constantly listening to Lost Spaces and talking about the action in the Discord and all these things. So yeah, and I didn't have the liquid to invest um, like heavily like people were. So once Dell kind of kicked open the Ash art door, that was like my way into the community because
Okay.
I that was the
No
main
doubt.
thing. I like Pac's art and everything he's doing, but the community just sounded like so much fun. Yeah, that was eventually my entryway in there was just dropping art instead of buying it.
That's so amazing. And then you're going out and supporting other artists too.
Yeah, yeah.
This is Kai, by the way, for those of you that don't know. Created by Dell in the Fine Balance drop.
Just saw that tweet the other day.
The locked form is ready.
We've got movement.
How's it doing on OpenSea? I haven't looked at it for a minute. Oh, pretty good. Solid.
Yeah, still good.
Man, that was a fun drop, though. I remember when, Fine Balance came out and, you had the news and not a lot of people were doing these, transitional burn pieces, anything like that. And it was just fun, connecting
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
puzzle pieces and, like you literally had to glue your phone to your hand or your laptop or whatever you were looking at on because, I mean, like you said, Mike, you could miss 2 hours and now the game's over,
Yeah, yeah. That's why I couldn't keep
Yeah.
up. But no, it's perfectly conceived and perfectly executed. Drop and game. This is nostalgia at this point.
Yeah.
This is 2022 nostalgia right here.
My favorite one out of the whole collection, I always say it, is Zeta. It's my favorite one out of all of them. Just love it. The music, the pose.
Yeah, it's a good one. The water, especially.
The water, the lights. I'm a blue and orange guy anyways.
Yeah.
So, Broncos.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he's got the elegance down for sure. It's clean, very clean. Really good music with these too.
Yeah.
He's another FL Studio user for his music. I know Dell uses that.
Nice. Some alpha for you guys.
Oh, Irvis is asking what happened to the sound. Anyone else having problems with the sound?
Let's see here. I don't know.
Maybe we were.
Maybe I'm
He
glitching a little bit.
He deleted the comment. Maybe it's
Okay.
back.
I think I'm glitching a little bit. I don't know why, but
Yeah, you're lagging visually, but I can hear you just fine.
yeah, the audio sounds good. Huh. Well, maybe the volume kicked out or something. I don't know. It still says on my end that everybody's got volume.
I don't know. Well, if there's a problem, just leave a comment. Doesn't
Yeah.
look like it so far.
Beans is lit. Huh. Yeah, it looks like I'm lagging a little bit. Well, let's just go ahead and wrap this thing up, Mike. We're gonna end it live here, guys. I really appreciate your time, Mike.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sorry for cutting it short here.
Oh, no worries.
It was fun, bullshitting. Thanks everybody for tuning in here, and hope you guys take care.
All right, thanks everybody.